Hey again, it's me, Boo. I'm back with a review I've been meaning to do for a couple months now. I just haven't gotten around to it. You know, life happens. And perfume happens. So, anyway, this is by a house that isn't talked too much about. I got the samples, the entire line. I don't know when I first started doing this very long ago. I don't mean to look like it's been ages ago. Let's see, it was like 6, 7 months ago. I got their whole line and checked them out, and I kept thinking about this one so much that I had to pop for a bottle. And it's Ambre Intense and by Evody. I really dig the bottles. I really like that, by Killian and Tom Ford kind of basic black. They remind me a lot of medicine bottles that would have been on a doctor's shelf in the Old West, or on a perfume shelf in the Old West. I just love the black glass and kind of the basic structure of it, but whatever. I don't know where that came from. Anyway, so the one thing I will say though is that to buy Evody, to get samples, honestly, the best way is to go to the Evody website and do it there. I know that some people really don't want to do that. I know we have very strict international shipping, but I haven't had any problems yet. Knock wood, cross eyes, toes, fingers. And I ordered the whole sample set from them, and it was really inexpensive. There's like 10 fragrances, 8 fragrances, something. And they shipped within a week. It was there like 7 days. Bang. It was here and in my hands, and I was putting my nose to them. So, and the full bottle, it was like 9 days. No problem. And I think I got it the beginning of January. Yeah. Maybe the end of December. No, I think it was the end of January. Anyway, whatever. So, the really cool thing about getting it from the Evody website themselves, the perfumer themselves, ordering your bottles, is this came with it. Now, I'd already gone through the whole samples. I did a review on it, like I said, back then. And Ambre Intense was the only one that really, floated my boat, blew up my skirt, melted my butter. But, you train your brain. Just like anything else. It's like I'm a nurse, and assessments used to be kind of difficult for me in the beginning. Now I can look at somebody and do a really quickie assessment on them just in a matter of seconds on certain things: how they dress, how they look, their face, their skin color, their hair color, are they showered. There's all kinds of things that I can do just at a glance that I couldn't do when I first became a nurse. But you train your brain. Same thing with perfumes. So now my brain is able to pick out notes that I dislike and notes that I really like much easier than it did, 5-6 years ago when I first started getting really into niche perfumes. But even more so because I'm paying attention more now that I've started doing these reviews. Before it was just like, oh, I like or dislike, and didn't really care about breaking it down and figuring it out and investigating anything. And so I've just been doing that since I've been doing these reviews. And so it's really interesting to me that now I'm able to think, that I might go back through, because I gave away my first set of samples. I gave them away. I passed them on to somebody else so they could check out the house, because I think it's really underrated. But they sent this whole bag with the entire line again, with this full bottle that I just got. So now I got them again, which is kind of cool because I want to go back through them and see with my new semi-trained brain. I haven't graduated from kindergarten yet, but still, I'm interested to see if anything has changed on how I feel about these, because most of them, other than the Ambre Intense, most of the line was either too masculine or nothing special, or I just didn't care for it much. So, but I'm thinking, there's some notes that I like now that I didn't like then, and vice versa. So who knows? And if anything changes, I'll let you know. So back to the fragrance. This for me is a very a very, I don't want to say dry, but it is dry. And it's kind of dry and powdery. And I know that I've said about Ambre Sultan that it's not my thing, but it's a desert amber to me. Whereas this is just dry and powdery. So this is like, this amber hangs out in the oasis in the center of that desert. So it's got some moisture, but it's still drier than I usually like. What I love is that it's powdery and resinous at the same time, almost slightly oily. So, and I almost get some tonka in there too. So it's I kind of get a patchouli, maybe slightly spicy, tonka, dry amber is what I get out of this. The performance slightly sweet too. Much sweeter than Ambre Sultan. The performance on this is really good. It does say Ambre Intense. I get easily 10 hours out of it to 12 hours, just depends. Projection and sillage are all good to the point where I wouldn't wear this to work. I wouldn't wear it to work out. Not unless you're going to a work function that's at night and it's kind of formal. It's kind of, to me, a formal smelling amber in my opinion. Definitely club-worthy material though. And totally unisex. Might even be on the slightly masculine side of that unisex scale, you know, just a tick over. But honestly, I don't see, you know, a problem with any woman wearing it, really. If she feels comfortable and likes ambers, I totally think you should check it out. So, the notes. Let's get to the actual facts. Top notes include bay leaf. I don't get bay leaf. Huh. Overture to incense. Okay, the spicy and patchouli. And sandalwood. Okay, is in the heart. Resting on amber and opoponax. Well, maybe it's that sandalwood that's given it that powdery kind of a consistency to me. Really good stuff. Totally worth checking out. I think part of the problem is you know, they're over in Europe, they're over in France, so people are a little intimidated ordering samples over there, but they're very generous. The Evody company is very generous with these samples. They ship them quick. Their prices are reasonable. I think the other thing is the USD to Euro conversion. I think that turns people off quite a bit on ordering fragrances from the US when they're from Europe. And I wouldn't let that stop you. It's really easy. I just put in the Google box. It came out to, I'll tell you because it was funny, it came out to 100 euros for this. And so I stuck it in the Google box, 100 euros equals USD. And it came up, oh, that's 133 or whatever it was. It's basically, I think it's like 73 cents to $1, the US to Euro. And if you're worried about the symbols, that's easy to look up too. Just Google monetary symbols. And you can totally find, because the euro and the pound note and you know, a lot of those are some of the first ones that they list. So you'll be able to recognize the symbol and figure out what money is, you know, what money it is before you convert it over to USD. Because I don't know about the rest of you, but I don't know the money symbols at all. So, anyway, and let me see if anybody says it smells like anything. No, because there's no reviews on here at all on Ambre Intense. I find that sad. It's kind of lonely on its own, and it really is deserving of some sniff tests by some folks out there. I think people would be pleasantly surprised. I would put this in the same category as, you know, it's a drier, powdery, slightly less sweet Ambre Nargila kind of a thing, or Amber Absolute. There might be a little cinnamon in here, but that might just be the incensey notes is more than smelling cinnamon, but there might be a little cinnamon. It's really worth taking a sniff, especially if you're an amber lover like I am. So that's Ambre Intense by Evody, and I hope you all have a good day. All right.